Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Wednesday, the 1st of December 2021. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Celestial Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say about this first day of the new month and what energy you'll be working with. Okay. So let's see. The first card is Lupus, the Two of Swords. Scorpio, Death. And I don't know how to say that word at the top, the Six of Pentacles. Okay, so we've got some sort of death goddess making quite a powerful appearance here in this card in particular. Here we've got Scorpio, the death card. But here we have someone as well who seems to be kind of riding around at night and rescuing things, and there seems to be transformation happening or going from one place to the other. And then Lupus, we've got this wolf, which is kind of like the protector of the underworld, I would say. So what the potential and the energy of Pluto in Scorpio, that is very much about transformation and change and looking at things which are dark and unpleasant, illuminating those things in order to transform them and to heal them. Pluto is like this phoenix rising from the ashes. It's about transformation and change. So the Scorpio aspect is about being able to look at things which exist in your life but which you don't want to exist in your life. So it may be a constant sense of anxiety that lives with you, or it may be past experience which haunts you and which you can't let go of. It may be outdated ways of behaving that may have been appropriate 20 years ago, but which really aren't appropriate now. And it would benefit you to change and to adapt and to let go of certain things that no longer work. That's what the whole process is about. It's about letting go of the negative so that you can renew, you can become lighter, and you can grow more in a positive direction. So that's the first theme I think is important of the day. That one, you have the ability to face difficulties, to see them, to deal with them, to accept them, and then you're able to do something about them and change them into opportunity. So there's a real kind of change of pace here today where it's saying, hang on a minute, take a moment to just ditch all the burdens, all the heavy weight that you're carrying with you, let it go, lighten the load, and then move forward in a way that feels positive and like you're traveling away from this dark stuff and into the light, so to speak. So anyone who feels like they're bogged down with life experience that's been negative, and if you're longing for a fresh start, a sense of, I don't want to carry all this around with me, I want to let go and I want to be done, then this is a day where you have an opportunity for that. So let's look at this particularly. First off, Lupus, the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is usually a woman who is blindfolded. She's got her arms folded across her chest, and the two swords are kind of extended in a defensive posture. She's got a blindfold on, and the Two of Swords is about hope that things are going to get better by waiting them out and just hoping for the best as such, that things will change by themselves. But it's also a lack of clarity, and it's saying that even if I don't understand what's going on, I'm going to try and get the best possible outcome, or I will wait for things to alter so that I can thrive and walk in the sunshine, so that things don't have to be difficult. So here it's different. We've got this wolf, and to me, just in the context of this, I feel a strong connection between this kind of transformative energy and the wolf as kind of a protector and as like a henchman, almost like someone who does the will of the transformation. And if you come across a wolf, my reaction would be probably fear. So it may be that there are certain situations in your life today which allow you to recognize stuff you don't want, to let it go and to transform, but it's not going to be something that looks particularly welcoming. It's not like, here's a holiday to a magical island, you've just won this competition, come stay here for a week, that's what's going to transform you. No, it's going to be much more likely to be an argument with someone where it's difficult and you realize something about yourself. Or it may be a circumstance that's completely hopeless, and by thinking it through and rereading the paperwork, for example, you find a way out and you find a way of dealing with the threat. And that ability to deal with something unpleasant or less than ideal, that kind of illuminates your thinking and leads you to a space of, okay, I now have a choice. I'm either going to do that again or I'm not going to do it again. So it gives you great perspective. So don't try and manage the day to only have, the most thrilling, darling, lovely, positive experiences ever. It's very likely that the blessing and that the transformative kind of impulse comes via something that feels intimidating or difficult. Then we've got Libra. Libra is about bridging the gap. I always say it's a bridge with a little bump in it. So the conflict or threat is likely to come via another person. And that doesn't narrow it down very much because other people can be responsible for, they can connect with you in a million different ways. So it could be like the estate agent making a mistake on the paperwork, or it could be your father having a very direct and unpleasant conversation with you. So it's likely to, this circumstance is likely to come in via another individual. It's important to listen, and even if you're hearing things that you don't necessarily like, then reserve judgment and just hear the other person out, or try and get as much information as possible. It will illuminate things for you. And then we've got Uranus, which is the miraculous and the unexpected. So yeah, you'll hear something that's surprising, unwelcome, difficult, challenging. And that's the key to getting to this card and transforming something within you, because you have to understand it first if you're going to transform it. So you see your own behavior, you see your own way of thinking, your perspective, the way you operate very clearly via some sort of circumstance like that. And then you get this sense that you don't need to engage in that way again if you don't choose. It's like something snaps and you get to a point where it's like, wow, okay, this just happened. I now feel liberated from it somehow. I don't need to behave that way in future, and I can create opportunities that will serve me better. So one of your coping mechanisms, the one way you behave when you're cornered or threatened, you'll see how unhelpful that is today, and you'll determine to let go of it. So if someone comes at you and your response is, well, offense is the best defense, and I'm going to start kicking off and screaming and shouting, then, if you try that approach a few times, you'll realize it's not the best plan ever, because if you freak out at the drop of a hat, you're going to get yourself in trouble. It's not going to be a helpful characteristic. So it's that kind of stuff where you gain insight and you can say, okay, I'll approach things differently. So yeah, we've got this spirit kind of moving towards this guardian of the underworld, and then they're going to be whisked off. So it's probably not going to be as linear as I have a conversation, I realize what happened, I decide to change, and then I find some sort of practical opportunity. I don't think it happens as in such a rigid kind of separate way. I think it's more of a whole thing altogether. So you have an experience where you're able to gain understanding. It gives you the desire to change and to alter your behavior and your circumstances. And that in itself is an opportunity. The Six of Pentacles is a card that's about the opportunity to change your practical circumstances, to change your work, whether you're up or down. It doesn't really matter, because you can ask for help and receive support, or you can give it. And the Six of Pentacles is earth and career and work. We've got Saturn, which is security, Taurus, which is finance and creativity and money and keeping things in a fixed way. So it's the opportunity to ground yourself and to move and to ride to a place in your life that's much safer and where you can feel less threatened and more like yourself. It's I don't know if I'm expressing that very well, but it's very interesting when you're living your own life and you do kind of work on yourself and you do self-acceptance and self-improvement and all these things, at some point you get to a place of, okay, well, this is who I am. And if you, earlier in your life, if you were in social situations and that was difficult and you felt like you had to pretend to be someone you're not so that other people would like you, the more you get to know yourself, the more you drop that, because you're grounded within yourself, you've accepted it. And that's what then allows you to navigate lots of social situations, because you can be your authentic self walking into any one of them. You don't have to wear a mask or a facade or feel insecure particularly. And that's what I get here. That's what this is about. Letting go of insecurity by seeing yourself, understanding yourself, and then working to change that. That's the opportunity in itself to work to change the way you operate. But it's also, the work in itself is going to lead you to a place in your life where you feel much more at peace with yourself and much more solid and reliable, and like you can rely on yourself. Like you get a better grip on yourself. Wow. Okay. So it's a day of learning about you via other people, via your own feelings, your intuition, and that's going to have a positive, practical outcome by putting you in a very solid place emotionally, which means you can then take action steps to get to a better place practically. And it's that process in itself that is going to feel grounding. So it provides actual security if you follow your ideas on it, but the ideas in themselves provide you with security because they make you feel like you know where you're at when it comes to your life, your desires, your needs, and what you're going to do in future. So it's about getting to know yourself and being fully 100% on team you. That's a very interesting kind of subtle message. So I would pay attention, but I wouldn't take things so seriously, because ultimately the gift of the day is finding this inner light and being able to change the focus from the past to the future. Yeah. And you've got to look to the future, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, 13 and 2 is 15 and 6 is 21. 2 and 1 is 3. 3 is about communication and new beginnings. So, yeah, ask yourself basically, do I want to make a fresh start? Keeping everything exactly the way it is? Or can I streamline my life to make it more enjoyable and positive? How do I want to go about this change? So it's about acting intelligently and with a real presence of mind and being very thoughtful about what's going on for you. So have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, click on book your reading to audio reading with me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share the video online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.